The golden child is the one in the family that's viewed as the perfect child, without faults, and constantly celebrated. In dysfunctional families, parents often unconsciously choose one child to give the whole family a sense of pride. There's a couple of reasons a golden child might be chosen. The first is that the parent needs validation from the outside world, and they can get it through that child. Another reason is the parent feels insecure or inadequate themselves, and they can feel worthy through that child's accomplishments. And another reason they might be chosen is because the entire family structure is dysfunctional. And so this golden child becomes the proof that the family's doing well or that they're succeeding. So here are 5 signs that you were the golden child. 1, you have an excessive need to achieve. You weren't loved for being who you are, but for what you did. So you keep trying to achieve things throughout life in order to get that love that you so deeply desire. 2, you don't even know who you are. From a young age, you were pushed and molded to do the things that your parents felt were valuable or rewarding. You didn't get to explore your own ambitions, your own interests. So you might wake up one day and wonder who you really are. Or you could feel like you've gone on a path that was chosen for you, but you don't feel any pride or any sense of fulfillment. A really common example of this is a lot of us who choose a career like a doctor or a lawyer solely for our parent or family's approval. 3, you might be perfectionistic. You can be perfectionistic because you're insecure about who you actually are. And when you're taught that the only way you're worthy of love or approval is by being good enough or by performing, you start to feel shame all of the moments where you don't feel perfect. And in reality, making mistakes is very human. It's a part of life. But you were never given the room to make mistakes or to explore. So you created an internal drive in yourself to always have to be perfect. 4, you are parentified. From a young age, you became a parent to your own parent. You might have felt like you had to be their therapist or their cheerleader and had to spend a lot of time trying to emotionally support your parents or having to be the strong one for the whole family. In healthy families, parents meet their children's emotional needs, not the other way around. 5, there's a lot of sibling rivalry. You might have had a lot of conflict with your siblings, usually because there's competition for a parent's affection or a parent who complains about the other siblings. Though these dynamics are never spoken about in the family, everyone can feel them. It causes a lot of stress and usually a lot of conflict between family members. So what is the adult impact of being a golden child? You can find yourself having high anxiety. It could be social anxiety or just overall racing thoughts and constant worries about the future. Because you didn't get the chance to feel safe and secure, your body is always on high alert. In relationships, you need to feel safe and secure enough just to be yourself and to be accepted without fearing someone else's response, reaction, or opinion. Another impact can be on relationship insecurity. You grew up without a secure presence in your life. And because your parents' figures, they weren't supportive, they weren't understanding, you might continue to struggle in adult relationships, having abandonment issues, or feeling overwhelmed and smothered when you're in them. You're consciously or subconsciously afraid to let anyone see your imperfections or flaws that we all have. And this triggers a lot of shame if and when they do. Another adult impact is on our low sense of self-worth. You didn't get the chance to develop a sense of self or to know and be confident about who you are. Instead, you became an image of what your parent wanted or what they believed you to be. And this can manifest by us getting into dysfunctional relationships, not having clear boundaries, not speaking up for what we need in work settings, in any setting, and a deep-rooted belief that you're just not worthy to be who you are. Another impact is having a lack of boundaries. Boundaries are completely non-existent, or you might have had your boundaries violated on a regular basis. So you find yourself always thinking or worrying about what will make a parent or someone else happy, or even fearing their reaction. Really common examples of having no boundaries is when parents overshare marital issues, telling you about the problems that they're having within each other's relationship. They might read your diary, or maybe expect you to be their best friend, sharing all of their problems and expecting you to solve them for them. As an adult, you probably end up being a people pleaser. You hate saying no, and you take on things even when you don't have the space for it, really feeling guilty if and when you ever let anyone else down. If you're listening and if you're thinking, this is me, don't worry, there is always hope. If you were the golden child, the first thing you want to do is start to spend time with yourself. Begin to get to know yourself, explore who you really are, getting beyond what's always been expected of you and learning what's inside of you. You'll also want to learn how to set healthy boundaries, which might mean setting some with your parents as an adult. While you might still notice these same patterns happening today you're no longer a child and you can assert yourself, letting others know when you need space or when you feel uncomfortable. Remember, it is not your responsibility to perform or to be perfect. And it's also not your responsibility to fit into the roles anyone else has chosen for you. Your responsibility is to be who you authentically are. I know so many of us grew up this way. I know I did. So in the comments, let's talk about it. I want to hear about your experiences as the golden child.